A very good afternoon to all of you. So today we are going to study the transfer function, and after that, through the transfer function analysis, we are going to study the poles and the zeros of a system. It is very important. Once again I am saying that it is very important, and it should be very clearly understood that what exactly a pole is and how different it is from a zero is. So first of all, I will take the previous example that I have studied, that I had told you, each one of you. In this example, consider this is a simple expression of 3 e to the power minus 2t ut minus 2 e to the power minus t ut. Okay, I had told you earlier that we will obtain the Laplace transform of this function, that is 3 upon s plus 2 minus 2 upon s plus 1. Now, it can be very well understood that this polynomial consists of poles and zeros. Okay, this polynomial consists of poles and zeros. So if somebody asks me that what is the pole of the system, okay, so what I will do is that I will merge this expression. So this will become 3. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Yes, 3s plus 3 minus 2s minus 4, 3s minus 2s, so it will be s on the numerator, and 3 minus 4, s minus 1. So this polynomial will give me s minus 1 divided by s plus 2 into s plus 1. That is why I have taken this example. Now this polynomial is obtained. Now if we equate the numerator to 0, that is s minus 1 equals to 0, so we will get s equals to 1. Is it clear? And from s plus 2 into s plus 1, when we equate this to 0, then we will get s equals to minus 2, s equals to minus 1. Is it clear? So if the poles are to be decided, then we can simply say that s equals to minus 2 and s equals to minus 1 are the poles. From the numerator, we can easily say that s minus 1 equals to 0, yani s equals to 1 is the 0 of this system. Or more broadly, I can say that the value of s, now this is a very good definition of poles and zeros of a system, and we should shed some light to it. The value of s for which the polynomial goes to 0. What I'm telling you, please pay attention to the line. The value of s for which the polynomial goes to 0 will be termed as the 0 of the polynomial. Okay, so 0 of this polynomial x of s, have a look at this. Zero of this polynomial x of s will be s minus 1 equals to 0, so s equals to plus 1 is the 0 of this polynomial. Correct? Now, coming back to the denominator, s plus 2 into s plus 1. If we look at the denominator, s equals to minus 2, s equals to minus 1. These two are the poles. That is, when in the expression I will put s equals to minus 2, then this term, will become 0, and as this is 0, then the entire polynomial will go to infinity. So the values of s for which xs goes to infinity are minus 2 and minus 1. So these are basically the poles of this system. Now, what is the significance of this pole and zeros? Why we are studying it? This is very important. Why we are studying it? So we are studying it because the stability is governed by poles and zeros. If all the poles of the system reside in the LHS, okay, then it will be called a stable system, provided that the system is a causal one. The system is a causal system. For a causal system, the poles have to reside on the LHS. That is very simple. Okay. Is it clear? For stability is governed by the poles. Okay. If someone asks us, what is a causal system? Okay. So causality in the Laplace domain is can be understood very easily. Okay. I will show that part. How I'll put this causality. So simply go to this slide. Yes. For a system with rational system function, causality of the system is equivalent to ROC being the right half plane to the right of the rightmost pole. It means that the ROC should be at the right of the rightmost pole. Then the system will be the causal system. Okay. For example, this is the transfer function. HS is rational, but the ROC is lying between -1 and 1. -2 upon S minus 1. Its ROC is between -1 to 1, but the rightmost pole is +1. As the ROC is not greater than 1 or on the right side of 1, then this system is termed as non-causal. Okay. I think this is clear. Okay. Now, so this is again stated here. I will like to shed my attention to this part. Yes, this part, that the ROC should be right side of the rightmost pole, then the system will be causal. Okay. For a stable system, the poles should lie on the left hand side of the system. If the poles are lying on the j omega axis, then that system will be termed as marginally stable. What that will be termed as? Marginally stable. Okay. So now very important term comes like that is that if Ys is related to impulse response, Laplace transform of the impulse response, and the input, Laplace transform of the input signal, then the ROC of HS includes j omega axis. Then for S, okay, one thing is very important, that the ROC of this HS should contain j omega axis. So if we put now S equals to j omega, then HS is the frequency response of the LTI system. So HS can also be referred as a transfer function. That is the output divided by the input, provided that the HS should include the j omega axis. Okay. Now I would like to explain one more example containing stability, if it is given here. No, now we have started differential equation, so I will come to this thing in the next lecture, because I wanted to discuss stability. Okay, and one more thing is that the non-minimum type function. What are the non-minimum type functions are? Minimum phase function. When the poles are or zeros are on the right hand side of the j omega axis, then they will be termed as non-minimum phase system. And if they are totally on the left hand side of the j omega axis, then that will be termed as minimum phase system. Okay, then it will be termed as minimum phase system. Is it clear or not? I think it is clear. And one more thing is very important. I can see from this problem. I will discuss it in the next class. Thank you.